Welcome to another Social Networking Watch CEO interview. Today I'm joined by Jon Ferrara, who is actually the founder of Goldmine and also the founder and CEO of Nimble.com. Jon, thank you so much for your time today.
Mark, I'm excited to be here with you and your audience. I welcome any opportunity to teach and evangelize my passion about social and its application of business.
Great. We certainly appreciate your time. Tell us more. We're specifically interested in your definition of social CRM. How would you define social CRM?
Well, let me just start out by saying I'm not a big fan of the term CRM. And I think social CRM is just a stake in the ground, a moniker to talk about the application of social to business today. I think that it's a little confusing to the users and the vendors because I think too many people call themselves social CRM. The social marketing, the social listening, the social collaboration, the social sales. And ultimately, it's really a combination of marketing, support, collaboration, sales, and the core customer needs of contact calendar communication that will create the tools necessary to be a social business tomorrow. And so I think we need to cut away from the acronyms and just talk about what is the pain and what can we do to help businesses today turn their social communities into customers for life. And that is what we're doing at Nimble, is really getting back to empowering the individual, empowering the team, the work group of people to attract and grow their brands and their business network. And that's really what it's all about. People are hired for their Rolodex when you go in a company. How do you manage your business relationships today? I'm going to argue you don't do them in a CRM.
Totally. I mean, traditional CRM doesn't reach into the depths of Facebook and all the different social options that are available. What I love about Nimble is that you pull it all into one place.
Yeah, and it's not just about social, although social is important. The core of business is saying what you're going to do and doing what you're going to say. You do that in your contact calendar and communication. 90% of the marketplace lives in Outlook address book or Google Contacts, not in their CRM. They go into the CRM to type the stuff that management wants to run the reports on their activities, their calls, and their forecasts. And what they do is they live in their contact tools. What I'm saying is you've got to give back to business professionals a contact tool that's built for today's world. And that's what Nimble's doing by tying together your core contact calendar and communications and then your social listening and engagement. We're enabling business professionals to build their personal brand and grow their business network. And so what I'm saying is that traditional CRM is good at the analytics and the back pipeline management activities of the core sales analysis and marketing analysis, but that doesn't empower the individual business professional to be effective. That's what we're about. We're about helping those business professionals build their relationships, nurture their customers, and turn them into customers for life.
So let's go back in time just a little bit. You stand really at kind of the point of genesis of personal information management systems and CRM when Siebel and Salesforce were just in their very, very early days, of course. You were building the competitor to Act, Goldmine, which really picked up on the best of what Act was doing and took it several steps forward. Tell us, what are the top couple of things that you've learned from Goldmine that you've applied with Nimble?
Well, Mark, sometimes I feel like the Don Quixote of relationship management. I'm still teaching today the concepts that we were basically teaching 20 years ago with Goldmine. Goldmine was the first tool that integrated contact management, network scheduling, email, sales and market automation, and collaboration into a team tool. And that's what made it unique. Act was a standalone tool for individuals to just manage contacts. You couldn't share them. There was no sales and marketing automation, no collaboration, and no network scheduling and email. And what we built was a turnkey platform that helps business professionals work together and attract and retain customers. That has not changed since the beginning of when we were doing it 20 years ago. What has changed is the way we do it. The old days of yelling at customers about how great you are and how great your products are over. Customers have shut down. They fast forward the commercials and they throw the advertising away. They're having conversations amongst themselves about what they're going to buy without engaging with your sales reps or looking at your glossy marketing materials. And the only way you can grow your business today is to authentically and relevantly listen and engage where the customers are, and to be part of that conversation in order to get an opportunity for the sale. And so what I've learned from my goldmine days is that business is built on relationships. We used to go in somebody's office to get to know them. Do you see those books behind me? The pictures on my wall? When you come in my office, you better know who I am, what my business is about, what my pains are, and be able to listen to what my needs are and provide a solution that is matching my needs. That hasn't changed. The way we do it has. We're doing it electronically. But the problem is it's in 6 different tabs in your browsers and 3 different apps in your desktops, and none of it's connected. I can't work that way. That's why we built Nimble.
So the long and the short of it is the customers are hanging out. Some are on Facebook, some are on LinkedIn, some are on Twitter, and yes, everybody's on email, but are they that responsive? So ultimately, they're that much more responsive when you bring them all together in one place, and that's what Nimble does.
Right. Well, the issue is that conversations shift from groups and communities to email, to Twitter, to Facebook, to LinkedIn. And you've got to be listening wherever the customer is talking to you and be able to shift to the different parts of the conversation channel that best suits that customer at that particular moment. How do you do that today? You've got your email, you've got Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, and let's not mention Pinterest, Instagram, Foursquare, and Google+. And you try to manage all that with some sort of social consolidation tool like Hootsuite. And you know what? I love Hootsuite. I cut my teeth on it. But the problem is that listen and engagement isn't tied to the contacts. So you don't have that single view of the relationship and the engagement for yourself, let alone your team members. And you know what? When we call a company up, we expect them to know who we are, who we talked to the last time, and what our issues are. You can't do that with today's tools. That's why we built Nimble.
You know, another tool I really love, and I have tried Salesforce, but I had a hard time with the usability, really. I used it, well, tried to use it for over a year. That's another story. Rapportive is an essential. Love the service. How have you? What have you learned from that, and how have you applied it with Nimble? What do you do like Rapportive?
Well, you know what's funny is that Nimble actually predates Rapportive in its ability to consolidate your contacts, map the social profiles, show you what that person is saying to the world and what you've said to them and your team members. I think what Rapportive did real well is plug that into where you live in your inbox. And so basically, if you're in Gmail, you see the Rapportive widget, and it basically shows you who that person is and their background. We actually do that in Nimble, not only in the contact record, but also in our inbox. And in our inbox, it's not just your email like Gmail is, it's Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and now Foursquare. So basically, when you go and look at the inbox and you highlight a person, it shows you not just their social background, but all the conversations and activities that you've ever had with them and that your team members have had. So you see a universal view in Nimble that you can't get in any other platform, including Rapportive. What Rapportive will do is show you what that person is saying to the world, not what they've said to you or your team members. But what I do like about Rapportive is it sits in Gmail, and when you highlight any email, it shows you who that person is. And so that's why we actually integrated to Rapportive in the new version of Nimble. And so basically, when you go and see a person in your Gmail and you highlight them with Rapportive, if that person is in your database, we'll show you the Nimble record and the pertinent details thereof and allow you to jump to the Nimble record. If they're not in Nimble, you hit a button and that contact's immediately added to Nimble with all their social mappings and background, which is really exciting for us.
You're integrating with Facebook. You're pulling in the email information from Facebook, which is fantastic. So nice to have it in one spot. But let's think about Facebook now. What if you were having a chat with Mark Zuckerberg and you could change one thing and advise him on one thing to change in Facebook email? What would you advise him? With your experience and background, how would you wave a wand and vastly improve what Facebook is doing?
Well, I think that the opportunity for Facebook is to be more than just a thing that you go find your high school sweetheart on, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people sort of think. You ask, you know, my idea of learning is I'm in an airplane, I always talk to the person next to me for a little bit to find out their background and what they do. And inevitably, they're in some sort of sales profession. And I ask a lot of these guys, are you using social? and they say, my wife uses it, right? But you and I know the power of social, and that Facebook is not just about personal, it's business, because business is personal, business is social. So I think Facebook has an opportunity, if they step up, to be more business focused to a certain extent, to the point where the business professionals that are using it today can use it better. But more importantly is the integration of the interactions. So this is what LinkedIn and Facebook and even Google fall down on, is that in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and Google, if you bring up a contact, you see no history of interactions. Imagine if you brought up a contact in Facebook or LinkedIn and Google and saw all history of interactions across all areas of the platform. If they +1'd you, liked you, commented on things, talked to you in a group, when they invited you, if they sent you a direct message, all of these things across all those platforms. This is what Goldmine did so well 20 years ago, that Nimble does so well today, is by bringing all that information together. You have that universal view of when you bring up a contact, you know what's pending, who's going to do it, what's been done, who's done it, and all communication that's occurred, and what that person's saying to the world, which gives you the opportunity to be relevant, authentic, and effective. And that's what we need to be in business.
I can't help thinking this ties in very nicely with the kind of visions that LinkedIn and Facebook have ultimately. Why not just sell the company? I mean, would you entertain the sale or at least integration of Nimble into a Facebook or a LinkedIn?
Well, we already are integrated and partnering with both of those companies, and I would welcome an opportunity to integrate further within those platforms with our platform to provide that universal view. In regards to selling the company, you know, Mark, I'm here because I dig this stuff. I dig building platforms that empower people to be more successful. This is why I got back into business. And I want to build something that changes the world. I want to empower business professionals to be more effective. I want to teach them, I want to evangelize, and I want to give them a fishing pole and help them to fish and grow. And then that's what I'm here to do. And so whoever can help me partner to do that the most effectively, I'm listening.
Tell us more. What kind of partnerships are you looking for?
You know, I think that there's a lot more to do with the integration and surfacing of opportunities for engagement within the platform. I think one of the great things that we've done so far is built the plumbing that nobody has: the contact calendar communication, the social list engagement, and the collaboration. This enables us to have a unification of all of your engagement and relationships, where now we can begin telling you things you don't know. This is the next version of Nimble, the magic, the inference, right? So showing you the right contact at the right time and helping you communicate authentically and relevantly with the right message on the right channel, and then being able to measure the effects of that engagement. Because ultimately, Mae West, I love this saying, I say it a lot, she said, out of sight is out of mind, and out of mind is out of money, honey, right? And so how do you stay top of mind with your customers? And so it's all about engagement and relationships. This is what traditional CRM falls down on. They think that putting social into the CRM system is putting the picture of the person and the social icons, and that's social, or showing you some of the streams. Ultimately, it's a more complete interaction and surfacing of the conversations, and then showing you when and how to connect with a person. And so one of the great things about Nimble is if that customer talks about you or your product or services, or one of your team members or you, all of those conversations are connected to the record automatically, and then you can then measure that engagement. You can see who are the customers, who's slipping away from top of mind, who you should follow up with. You know, salespeople have to log who they did it with and what they did in order for the reports to be run on the CRM system. Imagine if the CRM system was built on a Nimble backbone that automatically collected who they're touching, what they said, and then automatically told them the opportunity for sale based on the historical engagement and sales that have occurred. And so what Nimble's doing for the salesperson is empowering them. And I say salespeople, it's really business professionals, because we're all in sales. It's empowering the business professionals to build their brand and grow their network. And this is what we all have to do. It's what we always have done. It's just today, if you're not leveraging social to do it, you're in trouble.
What's next? What do you have in the pipeline for us in the next version that you can hint or tell us about?
Well, we're excited about rolling out our API, which will give us the ability to integrate faster into more platforms. My idea of Nimble is to give the business professionals the 10 or 20% of functionality that they need to do the core functions of contact calendar communication, social listening engagement, sales and marketing, and collaboration. But we don't want to be all things to all people. We see integrating to the core marketing platforms like HubSpot and Marketo, the core listening platforms like Hootsuite and Sysmos, the core collaboration platforms like Yammer, customer service like Zendesk and Desk, and even the sales platforms like Salesforce and others. So Nimble is great for a work group environment, 10, 5, 25 people working together or single professionals. But if you want to do that on an enterprise level, if you want to have the analytics and reporting necessary to run a large company, traditional CRM has its place. And what Nimble can do is provide the social selling and customer engagement functionality that social businesses need for the future. And then the traditional CRM systems can do all that back-end stuff that they do so well. And so we will be announcing some partnerships with some of those vendors.
Great. Jon Ferrara, you're the CEO and founder of Nimble.com. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to get up on my soapbox and share a little bit of Nimble gospel.